Joining us now with more is Georgia Senator David Perdue. Welcome to you, Senator. How are you?
Hey, Trey. You look a little too comfortable in that chair tonight. Good job.
Oh, I'm just keeping it warm for the boss. What's the state of your race? What's going on? We're a week out. What's the state of your race?
We're winning this thing, Trey. You know, I've been around the state the last several weeks like nobody's ever done here. We have the largest ground game in history right here on the Republican side. We're winning on the ground. We're making 125 stop bus tour right now. I think we're up to 86 from Hayhire to Hiawassee. I think tomorrow night we actually will get to our 100th bus stop in Hiawassee, Georgia, up in North Georgia. So we know what's at stake. We're the last line of defense here, Trey, and most people in Georgia are now beginning to realize that. I'm optimistic that we'll have a big turnout in the next 2 days, including Election Day. But what's at stake here, Trey, is very draconian. We've never had a race like this, and we know the eyes of the state are on Kelly Loeffler and me in terms of trying to hold the line here against this leftist, radical socialist agenda that the Democrats seem to be bent on. I mean, you just have to go back to the presidential election to see what they're committed to. Chuck Schumer will get the authority, if he gets these 2 seats in the Senate, to do what they've been talking about, and that is, you know, defund the police, open our borders. Illegal immigrants will be given the right to vote. They want to socialize medicine, cut our military again, just like Biden and Obama did in their administration. They want the Green New Deal, and really they want to undo all the things we've done the last 4 years that created the greatest economic turnaround after the 8 years of the lowest economic output in U.S. history that the Democrats gave us in Obama and Biden's term. So the people of Georgia are beginning to realize this is the last line of defense, and we won't get another shot at this in the 2 years or 4 years. If they get this majority, they will make changes that will preclude us the opportunity to come back and change this back anytime soon.
You know, Senator, there is hyperbole in our line of work from time to time, but the reality is, and it's not hyperbolic at all, I mean, the control of the United States Senate is on the ballot in a week in Georgia. It comes down to one state, whether Schumer or McConnell is the majority leader. You're on important committees. Who chairs those committees? Folks who are like-minded with you, whose vision for the future is the same as yours, what can they do today and what can they do in the week leading up to November if they want to see you return to the U.S. Senate?
Trey, every generation has a moment of truth. My dad was in World War II in Korea. I mean, every generation has a moment. The eyes of America, and I think the eyes of every future generation are on us right now in Georgia. And our responsibility is to not let them down. If you believe in the ethos that created America and has served us so well over the last 230 years of economic opportunity for everybody. Look, this turnaround helped 6.5 million people pull themselves out of poverty in the last 4 years, Trey. Limited government and individual liberty and freedom. What the Democrats want is a central government that controls the individual. They believe the central government is more important than the individual. We Republicans believe individual choice is what we've been about in America for 230 years. And so people need to get out. They say all the time, Dave, what can I do to help? Well, vote. And most people are now voting, but they need to close the loop, and that is get every single vote. Call their friends, call their associates, call their church members, call people they don't like. But get this vote out. This is our last line of defense, and we won't get another opportunity. Be like the rest of us. Kelly Loeffler and I are leaving it all on the field. We're not going to wake up on January 6th and wish we had done one more thing, because we're doing it all right now. And I think the people of Georgia, Trey, know that. They're going to step up, and we're going to see a record runoff turnout in January 5th.
Well, Senator, anytime you got to get elected, there's a political component to the job. But once you get elected, there's a service component to the job. What about your service as a United States Senator? Should voters who are trying to make up their minds in Georgia, what part of your service would you like to highlight for them?
Well, that's a tough question, Trey. You know, as an outsider, I never ran for office before I ran for the Senate in 2014. I just felt like the country was headed in the wrong direction. I felt like I could make a difference. And I believe we have. But the most gratifying thing may have just happened today, as a matter of fact. I mean, in this bus tour, you see people all over the state. I mean, we're going to small towns all over the state. And unlike my opponent who's hanging around Atlanta, we're going all over the state. over 125 stops. And just today, I had 6 people individually, the 6 men, step up to me quietly after the event was over. And these events will have anywhere from 50 to, we had almost 4,000 people in one last week with Ivanka. This man called me before I got back on the bus. He said, there's 6 times this happened. I just want to tell you, I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I never got anybody to help me with my problems until your staff helped me this year, last year, whatever. But each one of these 6 people made those comments to me today. And later in the afternoon, one of our last ones, Jennifer Hayes, who actually runs our constituent services in Augusta, she worked for, the prior senator here. And so I want to thank her. But also, this is what's so gratifying when you go into a job like this where you represent 11 million people in Georgia. I don't know if these were Republicans or Democrats. I presume because they're our event, most of them were Republicans, but I've had Democrats tell me that recently. So that's part of the job nobody talks about, but it's where you make a difference for the people in Georgia, and that's the only reason you should want to be in this job. My opponent has wanted to be a career politician since he was in high school. He ran for the House and lost. He's running now. I think he's losing. And his name of being called the incinerator, because he knows how to burn through political cash, is well-founded. Over $100 million he's raised in his own campaign this time, most of it from outside the state of Georgia. But I'm gratified by the fact that some people in Georgia are grateful for what this office has been able to do for them.
Well, Senator, you're on a number of committees, including the Budget Committee, and if people like contrast, what happens a week from today will determine whether Bernie Sanders or Lindsey Graham chairs the Budget Committee. And having just done a Christmas gift exchange with Lindsey, I can tell you how cheap he is. I think people would prefer Lindsey Graham over Bernie Sanders. Thank you. Good luck to you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you and your family.